Kamber you have to remember. Shah Jahan, as we were discussing, so he ascended the throne in Agra with a secure position, faced hostility from Afghan Pir Lodi, also known as Khan Jahan, who was later on defeated. He was the one who is now going to expand the territory of Mughals. Okay, how he is going to do that? He annexed Ahmednagar. Initial part of Ahmednagar was taken by Akbar itself, but now he annexed the remaining one despite the effort of Malik Kambir with support from Mahabat Khan. He also used the pretext of the imprisonment of Shahid Qutub Shahi ruler's minister to invade Golconda, making the ruler a vassal to the Mughal Empire. So even the Golconda, it signed a treaty that I am going to pay tribute to you annually. It was not annexed. Bijapur and Golconda eventually will be annexed by whom? Aurangzeb. 1686, 1687. वहाँ पे वो annex करेंगे. But this area was subdued by Shahjahan. तो शाहजहां की जो Deccan policy है, it is more successful than the Deccan policy of Jahangir, because Jahangir had only one important achievement. He was somehow able to sustain Mughal Empire in the Deccan area, because Malik Kambir was a very big threat for him, so he could not go further. Foreign relations, so he annexed Kandahar again in 1638, taking advantage of the political intrigues in the Persian Empire. So Persian Empire was going through a dull phase, and in which he captured Kandahar. In fact, please try to understand, Afghanistan, it's a very strategic area. Those who control Afghanistan have scientific frontier. Scientific frontier means you can easily defend it. That's why Mughals always wanted this area under their control. But this area was also eyed by the Persians, and Persians were having good relationship with the Mughals in general. As we see, Humayun, he got the refuge there. Okay, so as and when एक ही सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था इनकी टसल में, and that was कांधार. तो जो वीक होता था उससे दूसरा उसको कैप्चर कर लेता था किसी न किसी तरीके से. Ordered the expulsion of Portuguese from the settlement at Hooghly because they were supporting Bijapur. That's why उनको वहां से भगा दिया इन्होंने. And in fact, he is the one who tried to go to the Central Asia. There's a very famous campaign known as Balkh campaign. ये आप याद रखना for prelims. He is the only Mughal who went towards this area. They were able to defeat their enemies in this area. This campaign was led by none other than Aurangzeb. However, they could not keep this area under their control. Again, the tribal people, they came out, and the Mughal military, it was outcasted by them, and that's why they ran back. So Aurangzeb जीत तो गए थे वहां जाके बाल्ख एरिया में, but he had to come back. Many historians say that there was a kind of emotion among all the Mughals, starting from Babur, because Babur has lost his homeland. समरकंद और फरगना रह गया था, तो सिर्फ एक ही ने उसको अचीव करने की वापस से कोशिश की, and that was Shahjahan, because after Balkh the next natural thing is Samarkand and Fargana. But here they won, but they could not keep it under their control, and that's why finally Aurangzeb also came back. This is not going to sustain. Domestic affairs and construction, as all of us know, he commissioned the Peacock Throne. He also built the Taj Mahal, the most beautiful structure of whole of the Mughal dynasty. It belongs to the time of Shahjahan. In fact, it is also considered as the golden age of Mughal architecture. And cultural and historical significance, all of us know, many European visited him, like Bernier, Tavernier, all of them, Peter Mundy, and they have left a lot of information about the reign of Shahjahan. So all that information we get from here. After this succession, there was a dispute, there was a war among brothers. The eldest one was Dara Shikoh. Dara Shikoh was a liberal person, okay. He was very much interested in the learning from Upanishad, and he even translated them. However, it was going to be the Aurangzeb who first imprisoned Shahjahan and then eventually won the battle. And by 1658 he came to power, but his father remained under custody till he died in 1666. In fact, this is also considered by some of the historians that since he had imprisoned his father, after his death he was always in remorse, dukhi rehte the, and this remorse eventually got the better of him, and that took away his emotional stability. Because the initial time period of Aurangzeb, if you would see, he did not take any rash actions. His religious policy was also relatively liberal, but after 1670s things started changing for the worst. and thereafter from 1680s he got engulfed in the Maratha area, and then the whole last part of his career it just wasted in fighting against each other. During this time the Europeans also started coming in. Okay, the first one to come were Portuguese. Like in 1510 Albuquerque, he was able to capture Goa from the ruler of Bijapur. ये आप ध्यान रखेंगे. Okay, from the Bijapur, and made it the capital of Portuguese Empire. Subsequently, they got Daman, Salsette, Bombay on the west coast, and Sainthom near Madras, and Hooghly in Bengal on the east coast, and became the Portuguese settlement. Then who came? Dutch. Dutch set up their factories in Masulipatam, Pulicat, Surat. Okay, even Karaikal, Chinsura, Kasimbra. Chinsura was very important settlement of Dutch. Then we have the Danes. Danes have only one objective. The objective was not trade. It was Christian missionary activity. So only two areas were under their control. One was the area in Tamil Nadu, which is known as Tankebar. This is the area of, and the second is in the Bengal. It is Serampur. So these two areas were under their control, and both of them for only one purpose, for spreading the Christian missionary activities. French, as all of us know, Surat. Surat was the most important settlement, and then they increased to Masulipatam. Pondicherry eventually will become their base, but the most important for us, it is the English. English initially created a trading center at Surat. Then they created an setup or a factory in 1612. Thereafter they got Madras in 1639. Then they got Bombay in 1668. Then Calcutta was the last one, 1690, among the major cities. However, their major base will become in Calcutta. As all of us know, the first major battle, not a major battle, but at least a major adventure, which was done by Robert Clive, which will be responsible for the creation of a very strong power. So just like we have Mughal Empire, side by side, the Europeans are also penetrating Indian market. Initially, it was more about commerce, but with the period of time, by the early 18th century, when the Mughal Empire itself was crumbling, that gave them opportunity, and they became the trendsetters of our very fortunes in the future. Taj Mahal, it was led by Ustad Ahmad Lahori. So he was the one who led this, and it took many years. Eventually, all of us know, okay, it is more of a tomb. The tomb is of his wife, okay, and her name is Mumtaz Mahal, and from Mumtaz Mahal the word becomes Taj Mahal, and this is what it is about. More than 20,000 workers were brought in from different parts of the world to inlay different set of stones, and that is the level of expenditure which was done by him.
Hi, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Vikas Elawat. I'm a former civil servant. I was able to crack UPSC twice. In fact, in 2018, I was able to get highest marks in history optional, and they were around 324. So this year, I'm coming up with a series which I am calling Self-Study History Optional. इस series में 100 से ज़्यादा वीडियो होने वाले हैं, which are going to cover the different nuances of ancient, medieval, modern as well as world history. So those of you who are preparing for 2025, register करिए and try to get the maximum out of this specific initiative of ours. So at Prep Career IAS, we are producing results from last many years. 2023 में बहुत सारे टॉपर्स हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट से थे. 2022, 21 हर साल बहुत अच्छे टॉपर्स यहाँ से निकले हैं, and they have been able to get very good marks in history optional. So those of you who are thinking कि यार start करके कितना कर पाएंगे कितना नहीं कर पाएंगे, we already have achievements with us. I was able to achieve, my students are achieving, and you can be the next. इन सेशंस में क्या होने वाला है? नंबर 1 विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन फाउंडेशन ऑफ बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम व्हाट इज हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड, व्हाट इज प्रोटो हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज प्री हिस्ट्री, बेसिक लेवल. ओके. सेकंड, अलाइनमेंट विद यूपीएससी सिलेबस. जितना भी हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल का सिलेबस है वो 51 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू अलाइन ईच एंड एवरी कंसेप्ट विद द सिलेबस इटसेल्फ. नंबर 3, वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन आंसर राइटिंग. ऑल ऑफ यू नो कि जो मेंस है वो ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होता है, वो सब्जेक्टिव लेवल पे होता है, और आप सब लोगों को आंसर राइटिंग सीखना शुरू करना पड़ेगा, है ना. वी डू नॉट हैव टू मच ऑफ टाइम, तो स्टार्टिंग से ही आंसर राइटिंग शुरू करेंगे. एंड नंबर 4, द ओवरऑल पैकेज इज़ वेरी हॉलिस्टिक इन नेचर. तो अगर आप इसको अच्छे से कर लेते हैं तो जो बेसिक लेवल फाउंडेशन हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल की वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. You are going to get many important things along with this. Okay, 100+ सेशन है, चारों पार्ट कवर होंगे। थीम वाइज सेग्रीगेटेड डायग्राम, फ्लो चार्ट, जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट एनसीईआरटी हैं, देखो अगर हम सारी एनसीईआरटी को कंबाइन कर दें एंशिएंट, मिडेवल, मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड ऑफ वेरियस बोर्ड्स ऑफ इंडिया, तो 25 से 26 एनसीईआरटी निकल के आती हैं। उन सबको हमने कोहेरेंट फॉर्म में डिज़ाइन किया है सो दैट यू कैन लर्न द बेस्ट फ्रॉम दैट। ओके, बिकॉज देखो हिस्ट्री में रिसर्चेस चलती रहती हैं। अभी तमिलनाडु की जो एनसीईआरटीज़ हैं दे आर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इन कंपेरिजन टू द रीसेंट हिस्ट्री देन द प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री जो कि आर.एस. शर्मा वगैरह, सतीश चंद्रा या फिर बिपिन चंद्रा ने लिखी हैं। दैट्स वाई वी आर कवरिंग ऑल द एनसीईआरटीज़ एंड दैट्स वाई 100+ सेशंस हो जा रहे हैं टोटल मिला के। देन 30+ वैल्यू एडेड आपको डॉक्यूमेंट मिलने वाले हैं, डेडिकेटेड आंसर राइटिंग सेशन मिलेंगे, जूम सेशंस भी करेंगे बाद में, ताकि आप लोगों की जितनी भी डाउट्स हों विद रिस्पेक्ट टू लर्निंग दे कुड बी सॉल्व्ड। ओवरऑल जो है आपको क्लास की पीपीटीज मिलेंगी, कंसेप्ट लिस्ट मिलेगा, पीवाईक्यूज, जितने भी पीवाईक्यूज हैं उनको अच्छे से हमने डिज़ाइन कर दिया ताकि आप सब उनको अच्छे से पढ़ सकें। माइंड मैप मिलेंगे पूरे सिलेबस के, वर्कबुक और लर्निंग असाइनमेंट्स मिलेंगे एंड सेल्फ असेसमेंट टेस्ट, सो दैट वंस यू लर्न समथिंग तो साथ में उसको एटलीस्ट इवेल्युएट भी करना चाहिए ना कि भाई हमें कुछ समझ में आया भी है नहीं आया, एटलीस्ट जितना रिक्वायर्ड है वहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं या फिर नहीं पहुँचे हैं। तो आपको करना क्या है, व्हाट वी नीड टू डू दैट, सबसे पहले आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए, ठीक है। आपको एक स्पेसिफिक गूगल शीट मिलेगा, उसमें आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए। देन एज ऑल ऑफ अस अंडरस्टैंड हर किसी के पास लिमिटेड स्लॉट्स हैं, तो आपको एक स्पेसिफिक कॉल आएगा एंड दैट इज समथिंग विच वी आर कॉलिंग एट स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस। बिकॉज अगर हमें आपको ये सारी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करनी है, द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स विच वी कैन हेल्प दे आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेड इन नेचर। सो अकेडमिक काउंसलर इज गोइंग टू कॉल यू, दे गोइंग टू हेल्प यू और दे गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है। हो सकता है आप कॉलेज के फर्स्ट ईयर में हो, सेकेंड ईयर में हो, थर्ड ईयर में हो, और यू मे हैव ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर सम टाइम एंड यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट, तो इसलिए हमें स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस चाहिए होगा। एंड फाइनली ऑन द basis of this you're going to get the benefit of this program.